We've now spoken about how to use prayer beads and the history of using prayer beads, what they're for, and how we can effectively use them to focus on prayer. And we're going to talk now about perhaps making our own and some of the materials that we can use to make our own. So what you will need is some kind of a cross. I have two here. One is a crucifix. They're a little more easily available, easier to find, because a lot of Roman Catholics do use these crosses for rosaries. This one is not a crucifix, it's a cross. So a lot of Episcopalians prefer that. You could also use something other than that. This is an angel wing charm. It has a couple of extras on side here, but you can use something that means something to you if you like. You need some string. Again, I mentioned this before, but you can also use something like this. This is called Wildfire, and it's a string that would work for this very, very nicely. This is glue. We're going to use that at the very end, or you are when you finish, just to secure the knot. And also we have various beads we're going to use. These are the week beads here. There are 28 of those because we're going to have 4 weeks. This bead here is the invitatory bead. It's different from all the others, and we'll be using it on our string. And these are the cruciform beads that I chose for this particular set of beads. Then you need to cut a piece of string. I measured the string kind of the length of my arm to my chest. And I know that everybody has different length arms, but that's going to be long enough for anybody. For a string of beads, you'll have extra. You don't want to cut it too short. That's very important. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is to pick a cross to use. I'm going to use this one. And you're going to take the cross and put the single end through, just like you were making a simple child's necklace. And then you're going to line up the cut ends of the string like so that they're very even. And then next you're going to put the invitatory bead on the string. The invitatory bead is this one I've chosen. It's a fancy bead. And you're going to put both of the sides of the string through it, both ends go through it. And what happens then is it really results in a much more secure string of beads and a much nicer hanging string of beads. And then next, through the same taking the same 2 pieces, you're going to go through your first cruciform bead and push that down all the way to where you left the invitatory bead. After you do that, then you will start with the week beads, and these are the little blue ones, and you'll put 7 of these on. Now, finding the hole, if you have any problem with vision, that can be a challenge, but using the stiff wire or string makes it a little easier for me. So we're going to put 7 beads on here. 3, 4, and these are glass, which I think are 100 times nicer than acrylic. But you can buy the acrylic very cheaply. Sure. These I purchased at a craft store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta have 2 more. I lose track sometimes. I have a couple more here. It's 7 altogether. And then another cruciform bead, but this time it's just on the one side. So we're going to do these sides separately. So what's going to happen next is that I'm going to do another set of 7 week beads here on this side and a cruciform bead. After I've done that, I will do the same exact work on the other side. I will put the cruciform bead, the weak beads, and I'll have two weeks over here as well. Now that the string of beads is finished, all the beads are on, the cross is on, and we have a need to hook this together somehow. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot and bring it up pretty close to where we finished the beads. And I'm going to put another knot in here because this is very, very slippery stuff. So I'm going to need to put another knot in here as well. I need to put 2 knots. So I'll just do the 2 right together. Now I try not to get it too tight. I want it to slide a little bit so you can adjust how tightly you tie the knot based on how you want to feel the beads as you go around. And then what I would do next is take a little bit of this glue. In fact, I may as well go ahead and do that now so you can see. This is jewelry glue. It's very widely available. It's called E6000. And if you just want to put a dab on that knot, make sure you get it on the knot, and then let it dry before you cut off anything, because I think it's very important to let that set up. So what we would do to finish then is simply to trim these 2 ends off. This bead will slide over the knot too when we're done. It'll slide over the knot, but you don't want to put it on until this is dry. So there you have your string of beads.